From here, I would like to speak about small-scale wood-fired cogeneration. And I've been in Japan since 1984, attended a university here, and I have a PhD in linguistics. That's my title. Not linguistics, I'm sorry, engineering. Um, mm, I would like to talk about the responsibility of engineers. That doesn't get talked about. It only gets talked about seldom. A lot of buildings, environment, engineering is everywhere. So engineers have responsibility. If somebody says they have no responsibility, I can't believe that thinking. And I would like to talk about that as a backdrop, then talk about cogeneration and lead up to that topic. That's how I like to proceed. Firstly, Japanese nature can be harsh. This is Iwate Prefecture. This is after the tsunami hit. And if people were present, then it's called a catastrophe. If there's no person present, then it's only called a disaster. Again, with Kumamoto, it's a natural disaster if people are not harmed. If it was, then it's a catastrophe. So when people become involved, that is in a particular infrastructure, then the word of description changes. This is one example. This is Ondake Mountain. This is the north of Nagano Prefecture, a volcanic eruption. And I do not have the power to stop a volcanic eruption. So what we're looking at is natural disasters. If you don't run away, did not make it out of a natural disaster, well, perhaps if they had practiced more, they would have been able to escape. And there's many things that you can do against a natural disaster. I think that's accepted by Japanese people in Japan. But the power of engineer, I think engineers have the responsibility to reduce the harm that natural disasters bring upon people. Here, this is Iwate Prefecture. It's another natural disaster. It's 2 years ago. This is typhoon number 15. I don't know if you could accurately call this natural disaster. It could have been as a result of a climate change. That is, it was human produced at some point. And this is after the typhoon. Well, this is a film that I just borrowed. It's not what I took. This is a picture that I took myself. And I feel guilty that about this as well. This is Fukushima Prefecture, Ibaraki Prefecture. We're talking about earthquakes that happen once every 1,000 years. Then afterwards, we had a tsunami. Then after we had the power station meltdown. These are residues of that, if you will. And this new formations are being found at those sites. And what we're looking at here, I think there are many of these. What I'm trying to describe here is the blue is the rice paddies, rice fields, and it says so this is a result of there's a rice paddy that was affected by the power station meltdown. But if you look at it on a map, you won't be able to find it. I found it through a different source. This is what we're looking at on the upper right. But this is found in spotted instances, and there are about 40. So 45 out of 4 out of the 45 power stations in Japan were leaking, but Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So they're changing the directionality of the power station vectors from so things don't leak out to the east and west, but instead to the north and south. But anyways, we've been doing making a lot of efforts here, and this is when you Google this is what nuclear meltdown evacuation practice. Then you get all these pics. And you see all pictures of people doing evacuation practice. So children and older people, if they can't make it, then Japanese people think that that's like, well, that's too bad for them. And I think that kind of thinking of the Japanese is not good. I think that's a crime, but actually it's not a crime in Japan. It's legal to think that way. So I'm lying if it's saying it's a crime. But anyways, I think that's immoral of Japanese people to think that way. So what could we do instead? So what can I do as an engineer? So that's what we're here to talk about. So let me explain the framework here. So many people from around the world, people who travel the world, a lot of people with experience come here, and people who have looked at many things on different continents are here today in one room. So I would like to first of all take this opportunity to bring all these people together in one place. So I would like to express my gratitude to Mr. Hitzer, and by bringing all the knowledge together of the knowledge on nuclear power, I think that is fantastic. I think that the symposium is doing a fantastic thing. And so we're comparing, well, it's easiest to compare Japan and Germany. So that's what I'm doing here. So as an engineer, I work on natural disasters, and the laws and regulations surrounding that, it varies from country to country. Then first of all, we have Kyoto Protocol, and I've been involved in that. But other parts, you can see that Japan's not making any efforts at all. And so it was just Kyoto Protocol was just a marketing measure of Japan. And let's look at legal things here. Data privacy protection, and this has been in discussions for more than 25 years. It was implemented earlier in Germany, and here in electricity deregulations, you can see as compared to Germany how behind Japan is. And same with the world economy, the responsibility that Japan feels towards the world, I think that's very low as well. And there is so I would like to discuss what I am doing in Japan, and we have a video for you. It's a commercial of a 30-second commercial of what my company does. And I believe that the energy policy of Japan was a failure. So if you're going to use biomass cogeneration, then I think there are solutions. And so these machines will be used, and these are just waste that can be turned into energy and power. This is at a Guma Prefecture plant. These are dryers and desiccators and so on and so forth. These are some of the big ones. Does 10 kilowatts to 2 megawatts. So it's all customized to the user. So it's customizable. That's what we do at our company. And this could create a power that for Hitotsubashi University uses. That's all. Thank you very much for working hard to listen to me. Thank you very much.